Yes, how's everybody? My name is Mensal Kibalan. I am the founder and tech lead here at Universal Equations. And I just wanted to take a few minutes and talk about document management. Now I know that's not the funnest topic out there, but if you want your organization to stand the test of time, this is one of the things that you're going to want to be pretty good at. Being able to manage the documents that mean the most to your organization. Now, what we're going to do basically is just kind of look at the landscape of document management software, document management systems, and give you an idea of what's out there. Because there are some good solutions. There are many solutions. So, I'll throw a couple out there. I'll focus on some of the features that they have. I'm not paid by these folks, so I'm just throwing names out there, and just to give you an idea of the dozens of options that you will have for when it comes to document management software. Shameless plug. So if you feel free to click the like button and the subscribe button. That will definitely help us out to keep the content flowing. And with that being said, I think we can get started. So. Let's see what's a good starting point. Let's see how far I can take y'all back. Some of you may remember going into organizations, and some organizations still do this. Some choose to do it, some have to. I know many of you remember going into organizations and seeing rows of file cabinets, and a lot of them, did it because if let's say you hire employees. You may need a folder for that employee that you've hired, and you may even want to keep those employment records for, some number of years, before you do something else with it. You got legal stuff, financial stuff. You got the work product. Sometimes even the work product is, the work product of an organization is that valuable where you want to have it. If it's paper-based, you want to have it to where you can get to it. You want to have it to where it's secure, etc. So, there's a lot of use cases for any organization of any size relating to document management, whether it's, hospital, legal, bank, financial, list goes on in terms of what organizations' needs are. Intellectual property. There's so many, the needs of these organizations to where a investment in document management makes a lot of sense. So with that, I don't think I have to say that one of the key features when you're doing shopping for a document management software is going to be security. The good news is these companies have gotten very good at it. So I'm not going to say it's a non-issue, but it's not going to be hard to find document management software that doesn't meet some security standard. Now, not all organizations have the same compliance requirements. So if you're one of those industries that you need a little bit more, whether it's something related to an SOC or ISO, etc., or industry-based requirement, then make sure you inquire about that. They should be able to tell you. They should be able to show you that their product is meets those qualifications. So that's just simple and plain there. But then it gets interesting. You get into other features, and we'll talk about them right now because we're long past the era of cloud. So you can deploy these e-file cabinets, electronic file cabinets in the cloud. You can have hybrid solutions. You can keep things on premise. And each way is fine. What's right for your business. You know what you feel comfortable with. But with the technology we have today, you don't have to have everything paper-based. I guess that's the takeaway. You have a lot of options. You have a lot of flexibility, and hopefully this presentation will demonstrate that. So, well, let me get the big boys out the way, because, okay, Microsoft, Adobe, they have solutions, right? They have solutions for everything, right? So they got SharePoint, Adobe has Document Cloud. Obviously Adobe's Document Cloud is going to be kind of biased toward PDFs. Hey, that's their thing, right? So, but both of them are legitimate solutions. And if you got some of you got a ton of Microsoft apps already, you just add one. Some of you use a lot of Adobe, you just add the Document Cloud to your suite of services that you get from them. Perfectly fine. Now, when it comes to respectable solutions, ones that you're like, okay, these people really take this seriously. Let me name a couple. DocuWare Cloud. This organization of any size, starting with 3-4 people on up to however many you got. The price of that, I'm thinking, 4 folks. I want to say it's about 250 gigabytes. They got a DocuWare 4 Cloud. I'm thinking you can get that for about $300 a month. Like I said, make sure you have, these are your, the investment makes sense in terms, how valuable those documents are. But DocuWare, they got a lot of integrations. Some are better than others, but they do have, dozens of integrations. A lot of these solutions actually, they do have a lot of these solutions, document management software solutions, they got some pretty good APIs. And the ones that I'll mention, they got some respectable APIs that you can use. Again, see, a lot of the stuff depends on your expertise and your budget. A lot of it depends on that, the IT expertise you have in your organization and your budget. But DocuWare, I mean, it's a solid solution. Solid solution for an organization of any size. Now, in that same vein, you have a product like eFile Cabinet, also respectable product. So with that, the storage is virtually unlimited. It's just what you want to pay for. But yeah, they got a mobile app. Many of them do have mobile apps. I mean, that's not a limitation these days. Not all mobile apps are created equally. Some are better than others. Some have limited functionality, like you may not be able to edit a document, etc. I mean, it is what it is, right? So obviously they have developers always actively working on new features. So you might want to ask about what new features they want to add, etc. But a lot of them, whether you got an iPad or iPhone, there are definitely options out there as far as mobile documents, including eFile Cabinet. But yeah, they have the cloud solution. I think with eFile Cabinet, you get a lot of flexibility. You got your cloud solution, you got hybrid, etc. For those of people who, again, you got maybe different security requirements. Maybe you just got trust issues, but that's fine too. It's your business. You know what I mean? So you can do a hybrid thing, have some of the files stored electronically in a data center or server that you have. You can have some cloud-based, a combination of that. That's all fine. And I think eFile Cabinet, I mean, they'd be happy to talk to you about any solution that you had. And both DocuWare and eFile Cabinet, they do offer a training on their solutions. I think they'll even come to your office and do training. So, that's stuff to think about when you're looking at solutions. Will that company train you on their solution so that you can get the most value out of it? So now, DocuWare, eFile Cabinet, and let's talk about some open source solutions, right? There are out there. Again, your solution, depending on your IT expertise, depending on your budget, there's something out there for you for document management. Let's talk about Alfresco. That's been around for a while. I believe Highland, last time I checked, may be the steward of that right now. It is an enterprise content management solution. So within an enterprise content management solution, or ECM, you have as one of its components document management. and we'll talk about enterprise content management another time. That's at a very high level because there's so many parts to it. But we're just focusing on the document management aspect of it. That is something that Alfresco, can do. Now, as far as flexibility, you have a lot of options depending on, like I said, your IT expertise and your budget. It does connect to a MySQL database, so you can, if you already got a MySQL database, you got a DBA, MySQL DBA that you trust, or a TBA team, or you got MySQL stored on the cloud that you got set up. It can work for you. Deploy it to Ubuntu. They have a really nice Docker version. If you want to go the Docker route, they have that. So you can get up and running with that on Docker. So if you folks are familiar with managing Docker containers, you have that option. And like I said, Holland is a steward, so they themselves will provide an Alfresco cloud. You can get the Highland to host it for you on Amazon if need be. And this is your solution. This is probably for larger organizations because they'll probably start out at about $9,000-$10,000 a month for that type of solution, and it goes from there. So I mean, if you have that kind of an organization, you have that need, then you can go for it. There's also third parties that will host a community version for you. You'll pay a little less for that. You got that option as well. So I mean, there's a lot of options out there. You can host it yourself. Like I said, there's a community version. You can host it yourself. There is an API with Alfresco, so you could try to create some integrations. And Alfresco does have mobile apps. I think they have 3 at this point. So the mobile apps do exist. If you have an iPhone or iPad, it does exist as stuff's out there. So digging further, and I don't think I mentioned the price for eFile Cabinet. They have they have 3 tiers. I think in the first tier you're going to pay around $55 a month. Last time I checked, minimum is 3 users. So I mean, modest. If you got a modest budget, eFile Cabinet can work for you. And I think I already mentioned you have a mobile device. There's a lot of flexibility there. So let's go to one more I wanted to mention. That was Logical Doc, which is also open source. But you can go to the Logical Doc website and get them to set up a deployment for you. I mean, when you look at something like Logical Doc, it brings my point home that no matter what your budget or IT, no matter what your budget is, I won't say IT expertise, no matter what your budget is, you can have a document management solution, because you can host infrastructure-wise, you can host a Logical Doc starting out at probably $60 a year, maybe. And if your IT expertise is good, then you can have a document management solution with that. It does connect to a MySQL database. So again, if you already have MySQL in your organization, you got folks that know how to do that stuff, maybe something to think about. Now, I said Alfresco has a Docker installer that gets you running on, has a Docker solution. You can get up and running on Docker pretty quickly. Logical Doc has a really nice Java installer. It's a jar, and the jar depends on your operating system. That lets you get up and running with that, pretty quickly. It's pretty nice. Java-based solution is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And again, you can probably host that for as little as probably $60 to $70 a year. And you just worry about the IT expertise required to maintain it, and it's not that hard to manage. I mean, it's a nice solution. Logical Doc's a nice solution. So, and there is if you go through the company, there is a mobile device. So they do have that there. Now, I will mention one feature I probably forgot was the OCR. So that's going to take me back to eFile Cabinet. They have excellent OCR technology associated with their solution. Now, if you don't know what OCR is, that's basically the solution that once you scan the document, it extracts text from the scanned document, which for some of your use cases can be very helpful because it's basically reading the documents for you. And when we take things a step further, I always want to spice in a little AI. You may want to ask about being able to actually tag documents. That's one feature you may want to ask about, because if you can scan the text, then you can actually tag the document with keywords. So, and then once you give keywords to that document, then you can actually categorize it. You can actually, the system can actually decide what kind of document it is and help you store it in that way, because not all documents are the same, right? So I think I mentioned, I think you got a good idea of what's out there. Like I said, it depends on your budget and your IT expertise, and obviously your requirements, security requirements, your compliance requirements. I don't want anybody to get fined or worse. So make sure you have all those questions answered. But I think I've said enough on the topic, and we'll talk next time. Thank you for dropping in. Thank you. Peace.